The snow fell quietly over the cold city streets on Christmas Eve, draping everything in a white silence that made the world feel both beautiful and unbearably lonely. Nathaniel Cross sat at the bus stop on 5th and Maple, his coat expensive, his shoes polished, and his heart emptier than it had ever been. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of small moments to change lives, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness True Stories. Also, tell us in the comments where in the world are you watching from. He was 71 years old, worth more money than most people could count in a lifetime, and completely devastatingly alone. His wife had passed 3 years ago. His children lived across the world and called only on birthdays if they remembered. And his company had consumed every friendship he had ever tried to build. He had chosen the bus stop not because he needed the bus, but because he could not bear to sit inside his penthouse and listen to the silence scream at him. He watched people hurry past with wrapped gifts and warm smiles, heading somewhere that mattered, heading to someone who was waiting. He pulled his coat tighter and told himself this was fine. He had told himself that lie for 3 years. Then he heard the small voice beside him, and everything changed. A boy of perhaps 7 years old sat down next to him, uninvited and unbothered, wearing a jacket that was far too thin for the winter night, and shoes that had clearly walked too many miles. He had dark eyes full of something old, the kind of look children get when life has asked too much of them too soon. He sat with a paper bag on his lap, holding it carefully like it contained something precious. Nathaniel glanced at him and then looked away, as rich men often do when they do not know what to say. But the boy spoke first. "Mom said Santa forgot us again," the boy said, not with anger, not with tears, but with a calm and quiet acceptance that broke Nathaniel's chest wide open. He turned and looked at the child fully for the first time. "Again?" Nathaniel asked softly. The boy nodded. "Last year too, and the year before. Mom says maybe Santa's list is very long and we fall off sometimes." He said it the way his mother must have said it, gently, protectively, trying to make something painful sound like a small and ordinary thing. "Where is your mother now?" Nathaniel asked. "Waiting at home. She's sick. She didn't want me to see her cry, so she sent me to get bread from Mr. Anwar's shop, but it was closed." He held up the paper bag. "I found this on the step outside. Someone left samosas. Mom's going to be so happy." Nathaniel sat very still, this small boy, cold and hungry. On Christmas Eve, carrying samosas he found on a doorstep like they were a gift from heaven, was smiling. He was smiling. Something cracked inside Nathaniel that money had calcified over decades. He thought of his penthouse full of food that would go untouched, gifts that no one would open, rooms that echoed. He stood up slowly. "What is your name?" he asked. "Elias," the boy said. "Elias, I am Nathaniel, and I think Santa may have sent me here tonight." The boy looked at him with those serious old eyes and said, "You don't look like an elf." Nathaniel laughed for the first time in longer than he could remember. A real laugh, warm and sudden and alive. He called his assistant, woke 3 staff members, and within an hour a car arrived at Elias's small apartment building, with groceries, medicine for his mother, warm clothes in the boy's size, and a Christmas dinner that filled their tiny kitchen with the smell of something like hope. Nathaniel sat at their small table that night while Elias's mother wept with gratitude, and Elias very seriously showed him how to play a card game he had invented, himself using half a torn deck. It was the best Christmas Nathaniel had celebrated in 30 years. When he finally left, Elias walked him to the door and tugged his sleeve. "I'm going to tell Santa you helped," the boy said. Nathaniel knelt down so they were eye to eye. "You helped me more," he whispered. He meant it with everything he had. From that Christmas forward, Nathaniel funded a community center, a food kitchen, and a medical clinic in that neighborhood. He showed up every December 24th at that bus stop, just in case someone else needed finding. But he knew, in the quiet place where truth lives, that it was he who had been found. Sometimes the loneliest person at the bus stop is not the one with the thinnest coat. Sometimes God sends a 7-year-old with samosas to save a billionaire's soul. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel, Our Kindness True Stories, where every story reminds us that a single moment of human connection can change everything.